I'm Nick Seco from Home Right Windows and Doors, and we're located in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania. So we do vinyl replacement windows, we do steel and fiberglass entry doors, we do aluminum storm doors, and we do sliding patio doors, all made by Provia. The windows are a vinyl replacement window, and it could be anything from double hungs to casements to bay and bow windows and everything in between. So when somebody calls in the office and needs an estimate, they get Roxanne on the phone typically, and she would schedule an appointment for me to come out and take some measurements, provide some literature, go through what options we have, and then I would follow up within about 24 to 48 hours with an estimate with all the details of the products as well as the installed price. I find that we're typically much more affordable than the companies that you see advertising on TV or in a lot of other places. If they're spending a lot of advertising dollars, obviously they're passing those costs on to their consumers. You could go to our website at homerightwaynesboro.com, or you could call us at 717-749-4874.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk TriState with Tiny and Katie.
Welcome to Let's Talk TriState, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner of the 2024 Best of the TriState Awards. Joining us, as you can see behind me and beside me, we have Sam Thrush from downtown Chambersburg. What's going on, dude?
Not much. It's great to see you, Tiny.
Likewise, good to be seen. Has been a while since you and I have had a chance to talk.
It has. I think the last time we talked was for Ice Fest.
Yeah, that would have been. So just before my birthday, yeah. How'd that go?
Ice Fest went extremely well. Yeah. We're grateful to everyone who attended, grateful to all of the volunteers and sponsors.
Yeah.
The Ice this year, of course, we had to work with abstract art this year, but hey, it's an outside event.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right?
What are you going to do?
I know that a lot of people were excited about it. My wife went up on Saturday.
Right.
She still loves, going up there. She went with her girlfriends, and they made a day of it.
Saturday's a great day at Ice Fest. I mean, there's a lot going on. We have chili cook-off. We have the beer garden. We have, over 100 ice sculptures out. Our businesses are busy on Saturday of Ice Fest, but I don't like talking about cold that much once it hits spring. So springtime.
Yeah, well, when Ice Fest is over, let's just move on now to the thaw, so to speak.
The thaw, yes, so to speak, which we're grateful that the weather's shaping up and it's looking great. And downtown's looking amazing with all of the beautiful flowers and the tree buds are coming out.
'Tis the season, buddy.
'Tis the season.
Pardon the pun. Buddy, anyway.
Great pun. But Tiny, our businesses are looking forward to folks coming back out walking the streets this spring. Ice Fest was great because, people walk the streets during a special event
Foot
like
traffic,
that.
man. Yeah.
Foot traffic. But this spring, as the weather's getting nice, the people love dining outside, they love shopping up and down the street.
Yeah. So what do we have to talk about now, Sam? Because I hear there's something with Main Street designation, something along those lines. What do we have?
Well, we got a couple of different things. For instance, here in the spring, we're working on getting a designation with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
That designation, it's a multi-month process, many months to get it. But part of that process, there's a level of public input that we need to receive. And we've received in part, December and January, we asked the community to respond to a community perception survey. And there in December and January, there was about 980 responses.
Okay.
It was great. It was a great turnout.
Yeah.
One of the best turnouts that the Pennsylvania Downtown Center, who's helping guide us through this process, has seen. However, we still need to have some in-person get-togethers with the community.
If I just can interject here real quick, Sam, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but when you say a designation, now, I know what that means, you obviously know what that means, but to our viewers and listeners here, what does a designation such as this from the state mean for for downtown Chambersburg?
For downtown Chambersburg, and let's back up and say for downtowns across Pennsylvania, designation means you've worked with the community to lay out a community-driven action plan through different inputs, but more specifically, it provides you some financial benefits.
Okay.
For instance, anything that's in your action plan, you can apply for an implementation grant.
Okay, gotcha.
You receive some priority consideration with your designation. When you're working with other state agencies, you might have a little bit more street cred.
Okay.
You get some free technical service through the contractor that Department of Community and Economic Development has as well, part of it.
Okay. So basically it's resources.
It's more resources. And I could keep going down the list. For instance, there's a tax credit program that makes it a little bit easier for us to get it if we're designated.
Okay. So I knew that's what it was. It's almost like an official status, a recognition, so to speak, fast tracking certain things. Some red tape goes away a little bit. It helps to expedite certain processes.
It does help. But the biggest thing, what a designation process, what we get out of it is that community-driven action planning. That's the biggest thing. But there are some elimination of red tape, and there's some access to things that we don't have access to.
Right. But when you say now, let's circle it back to what you were talking about with some feedback from the community. What does that mean in this context? What is it that you need as far as feedback goes? Or should there maybe not feedback, input?
Input. Well, the input that we've received so far is a lot of stuff that we know already. That people wish that businesses were open after 5 p.m.
Okay.
People wish that, that our parking is a little bit better than what it is. Through the input that's received back, there's been a lot of good things said, like what we're doing. People love.
Sure, yeah.
But there are still things that needs to be worked on. That after 5 p.m., our downtown's not the only one that suffers from that lack of after 5 p.m. activity.
Right.
There's a lot, and there's things that we could lay out in the next 5 years to help. There's things that businesses would have to do. There's things that, from an investor standpoint, that we'd have to kind of work with them.
And two, I don't know, you know more about this than I do, but the perception to me would be that's kind of an uphill battle.
It is an uphill battle.
Because you're dealing with, it used to be years ago when we were kids, obviously when our parents and grandparents were kids, if you wanted to know anything that was going on, or you had to physically go out and be where the people were, and they would congregate downtown.
Yep.
And now we live in an age where we have access to so many things just at home, and people are so much busier.
Marketing has changed. The way we do life has changed. I mean, the way that we do business has changed. I mean, there's businesses in downtown that not only have a storefront, but they also have a great online presence. And part of that online presence is also selling stuff through social media.
Sure.
They will do Facebook Lives and they'll sell stuff through that.
Yeah.
But also there's that in-person experience that you can't really get anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, great customer service. It's hard to find that in other places outside of, in any town. It's hard to find great customer service outside of the downtown area, in my opinion.
And just to be clear, I'm not suggesting that anyone in any downtown area that's trying to do revitalization efforts would abandon such efforts.
Yeah.
But I think that, and I understand folks saying, I wish they were open until after 5.
I do.
Well, we need about 100,000 of you who wish that.
Well, it's not that just that. There, in my opinion, there is, do you have a Main Street brewing company that is open after 5 p.m.?
Right.
Do you have a bar that's open after 5 p.m.? A hub, critical mass. And when you have that critical mass of those things, plus restaurants, plus upper floor living, like if you have people living upstairs, that creates a level of vibrancy that gives some of the storefront retailers the confidence to open up after 5 p.m. But if you're opening up after 5 p.m., for instance, Tiny, if you were a business owner, let's say a retailer, you want to make sure that 5 to 7 p.m. hour that you have some sales.
Sure.
And you have to understand what works for you, what works for your family, what works for your business plan, on how long do you stay open after 5 p.m. Not necessarily from an hour standpoint, but how many days are you going to give the community the opportunity, or give your your customers the opportunity before you have to change your plan around.
It just needs to make sense for everybody.
Absolutely. Now, I mentioned, Main Street Brewing Company. We have one coming in early June. It's Berg Brewing Company with Neighbors Food Hall. Across the street from both of them, we have Waffles and Shine that's coming.
That's all that, yeah.
And all three of them have given some of the second block of South Main Street retailers pause to ask the question, should we be open later than 5 p.m. or should we be open later than 6 p.m.?
I think the answer to that's going to be a resounding yes.
I agree with that. Now, there are a few caveats of what do you sell as a retailer.
Right.
If somebody's coming for a beverage or a beverage plus hot chicken sandwiches, which, that is a very strong possibility of us having a hot chicken vendor inside Neighbors Food Hall. Are they going to go buy a $50 outfit?
Right.
Or $1,000 jewelry afterwards?
Yeah.
That's a question that needs to be asked. But
I think what you also may have is you may have, and the business owners need to figure these things out, but
they do.
You may have a chance at some really good exposure.
Absolutely.
They may not buy, that night, but when they walk in and see you're open, and they may just step in on the way in.
They may.
They may check you out on the way out. Might not buy anything, but they know you're there.
They might take a business card.
They might. They just might take a couple pictures and check your social media, whatever that looks like. Yeah, so that's great that you're going to have that kind of that hub, that nucleus.
It's a large critical mass,
Yes,
and there was a change of ownership with Fox's Pizza Den recently that will continue to add on to that critical mass. I know the second block of South Main Street is extremely excited about those three businesses coming into that block.
Yeah.
And regretfully, recently, one of those buildings, actually two of the buildings in the second block of South Main Street, was hit from a vehicular incident this past weekend, which that adds another layer of challenges that I hope both parties, from the property owner perspective, decide, hey, let's talk to the borough of Chambersburg to see what kind of solutions that there are with that, and we'll assess how as we can. But this spring, also, we just received news within this past week of us receiving a grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community Economic Development for Main Street Matters Business Improvement Grant, which we're a recipient of $100,000.
Wow, good for you. Okay.
And it will allow us to establish a micro grant program in Chambersburg, specifically for the downtown area. And that micro grant program, Tiny, will, when you sit down and do the math, $5,000 max per application. So $5,000 divided into $100,000, 20 businesses, max. Now, there might be some times where the applicant needs $2,500 instead of $5,000. So we're anticipating between 20 to 25 businesses will be able to receive the benefits of that grant program.
Okay, and that would be used for what?
Interior improvements, outfitting the interior, capital purchases, hardware, software. It also work for professional marketing.
Okay, so it's one of those things. Just apply. My goodness, why wouldn't you? As a business owner,
just apply. And I actually sent out an email today to our businesses say, hey, allow us until the end of May to get the information out. We announced it last week. We've had a lot of people express their interest.
Yeah, sure.
But give us some time. We're still working on getting under contract with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and then make sure we have all of our, lack of a better phrase, make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row.
Yeah, of course. You can't start approving applications when the money's not in the bank account quite yet.
that is true, Tiny. And but we're excited that the Commonwealth, that Department of Community Economic Development Center said, hey, we'll include downtown Chambersburg as one of the 81 approved applicants. That's out of 200 applications.
Yeah, that's great.
And we're grateful that they picked us. We're grateful that we're able to we are going to run a program like this. And it's fairly similar to our facade grant program that we've had over the years. It's a 50-50 program, meaning if we're giving the project of $5,000, it needs to be a $10,000 project.
Okay.
And if it's a $5,000 project, we could give $2,500. It helps.
Sure,
it helps.
Yeah, that absolutely does.
And we're excited for that. We're excited for the different events that are coming up as well, Tiny. I mean,
Yeah, I'm glad you worked us into that now. So let's talk about what's coming up.
Well, what's coming up? We have Fountain Fest at the end of April.
Okay.
I actually did the math this morning. I believe it's 11 days until we start.
All right.
And it's a busy 11 days because we still have to, lay out the layout map and do the marketing, for the event. And Fountain Fest is presented by Shoemakers Insurance and Financial Services. Okay. Nathan, the owner of that business, does a great job with the insurance and financial stuff. He also does a great job giving back to the community, not only by being the presenting sponsor for that event. He's also given money to the Habitat for Humanity over the years. Great guy, great business. I encourage you, if you're looking for insurance or financial services, give Nathan and the team a call. But they are our presenting sponsor, and that presenting sponsorship really allows us to do the event that we're doing. Them plus also our other sponsors.
So what is Fountain Fest?
Fountain Fest is a celebration of the fountain plus essentially our past spring food truck events.
Heck yeah, I knew we were going to get to it.
Yeah, well, there's going to be over 30 food vendors on Saturday. On Friday night and Sunday, there'll be at least 15 food vendors in the Rosedale parking lot. Now, throughout the entire weekend, Tiny, if you want to ride a Ferris wheel, I almost said merry-go-round, but that's combining two things.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What would that be, a conflation?
I don't know.
But anyway, go ahead.
Ferris wheel. If you want to ride a Ferris wheel in downtown Chambersburg, as well as other amusement activities, a great Greencastle Business Snyder's attractions, they're going to be with us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Where's the Ferris wheel going to be?
Where it was last year, at the corner of Hood Street and King Street.
Okay.
Down in the parking lot behind the ice cream station. So,
Gotcha.
Which the ice cream station, historic. This is we go on bunny trails all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So that ice cream station just announced that they are celebrating the start of their 25th season.
Congratulations.
In downtown Chambersburg. That's Mike Calathis, and we're grateful to them for being 25 years. There's also other milestones that's happened over the years here in our downtown, but behind the ice cream station, who just now started their 25th season, that's where the amusement activities are going to be at. Which
sounds fun.
We'll have more marketing on that as we roll that out, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Fountain Fest here in downtown Chambersburg. We're grateful to all of the partners and sponsors that help make it happen.
Absolutely. Well, we're grateful that you came to see us today, Sam, with downtown Chambersburg. If you want all the information on the events, anything related to Sam's efforts with downtown Chambersburg, and of course he has a great team with him and wonderful businesses, and it's all just a big community. Check that out. Again, the link you can see right there on your screen, and you'll want to visit them. So Sam, we'll have you back real soon, okay, bud?
Absolutely. Maybe in the summer. We'll
he's back before then.
All right. Well,
I love talking to you, man.
We'll bring one of the brewing companies down. How about that?
Well, that could get a little dangerous. I'll tell you what, we'll give you Katie for that one.
All right.
Katie can do that. When it comes to all the brews and stuff, she's your girl, trust me.
All right.
I promise.
All right.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Let's Talk TriState, all powered by Legends Bar in Chambersburg on Hollywell Avenue.
Let's talk TriState.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk TriState, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.